Okay guys, we are back again, a video to cap off the week. Here we have Oscar borrows $1,500 from a bank at an interest rate of 16% per annum. He can pay it off in 6 months with either fortnightly payments of 120.42 or monthly repayments of this much. So a lot of people would look at this, maybe say to themselves, "Oh, we just go, for the one with the lower repayments." But even though it's twice as much, or just over twice as much as you're about to see. So what we're going to do for this one is first calculate how much interest is paid with fortnightly payments. Now to do that, I'm just going to insert an equation. So to find the interest, what that's equal to would just be the total amount paid minus the principal. Okay, now we currently know the principal, that's $1,500, but we don't know the total amount paid. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to calculate the total amount paid. And to do that, that's actually just equal to, now here we're dealing with fortnightly payments, 120.42, sorry, decimal didn't come up, 0.42 multiplied by, well, let's think, 6 months, fortnightly payments, that would just be 12 repayments. Now, if you're watching the video, I want you to pause because I've made a mistake here and I want you to think about it for a minute. Okay? Think about the mistake I may have made here. Okay? All right, so by now, hopefully you've paused it, you've thought about it, seen where the mistake is. Let's talk about it. Here, there are 52 weeks in a year, assuming, well, there is 52 weeks in a year. A lot of students go, oh, there's 2 fortnights in a month, but there actually isn't. There's only ever, even then, there's no perfect lineup with 2 fortnights in a month, okay? In fact, sometimes 2 fortnights is too much, as in the case of February. Now, again, we're not here assessing your ability to remember the calendar, make assumptions, that type of thing. But what you do need to realize is that 52 weeks in a year is 26 fortnights. Half of 26 is actually 13. We make 13 fortnightly repayments to account for that little bit of extra time in each month over the 6 months. So 120.42, multiply that by 13. We're going to end up with a total amount paid. Just copy and paste this for a second. Of 1,565.46. Normally I put a summary statement, but I just want to power through this. So therefore, he pays a total, well, hang on, we haven't worked out interest yet. So now what we have to do is go back to this one, sorry. So interest, the amount paid, 1,565.46. The principal, as we discussed earlier, was $1,500. That's going to give us a grand total of $65.46. And there we go. That's the total interest that Oscar paid using fortnightly. Now, the cool thing is we can actually follow the same process, and I'm actually to the point where I'm going to copy and paste the working for part B and just change it as we go. So how much interest is paid with monthly repayments? So here, in this case, it's only 6 months, but the repayments are nearly twice as large. Oh, sorry, over twice as large, $261.80. Putting that into the calculator, we end up with $1,570.80. Now, already you're probably already figured out, which one's going to be the better value for money, and that's obviously going to be the fortnightly one. Now, you'll notice here, it's obviously the same interest rate. As you'll see, particularly with the next question, they're going to give you varying interest rates. Okay, and it can make a difference. But here, because it is a reducible loan, and the way that the reducible loan works is the more often you make a repayment, the smaller interest it's going to be on every single kind of repayment. But if you let it balloon out, so to speak, that's where the repayments are going to be slightly larger. So even though there is, $5 difference, for some people that might not be the end of the world. That actually might be more suitable to make monthly repayments because it suits their schedule. But at the same time, some people might like fortnightly. So here, see which is the better option. Again, we don't, unless there is other information that leads you to believe that $5 won't matter for Oscar and monthly will actually be more beneficial for him. Here's how I would answer it. for Oscar to consider. Now, did they name the banks? Nope. So we're just going to call it is the fortnightly option. This option, while having more frequent payments, see Oscar pay a total of, and I'm just going to quickly work that out, $5.34. $5 and less. There we go. And that's all we need for that one there. Okay. Next up, Bryony wants to borrow $2,400 to redecorate her living room and checks out her 2 local banks for their terms. Bank with Me charges 15.4% per annum compounded monthly, with monthly repayments of $217 and 7 cents. Better Bank charges 14.2% per annum compounded monthly, with monthly repayments of $282.69. So again, this is a bit of a different one because it doesn't say how long that she's going to be repaying it for. She just has to keep making these payments. So to help solve these ones, I'm actually going to go to Excel. If you didn't want to use Excel, you could use the recurrence relation formula for this one. But I'm going to set it up. Just delete the information from a previous question. Now, what I'll do is I'll duplicate this sheet as well. Create a copy. Okay, just going to delete this sheet. Okay, so let's call this one. So what have we got? I'll just go me, or I should go bank ME, and the other bank in this example, Better Bank. Okay, I'll go and delete these two as well. Now, we're starting with Bank Me. Yep, Bank with Me. 15.4% per annum compounded monthly. Repayments of $217.07. That's the first bit of information that I can pop in here. I'm just going to copy it down a couple of times. I'll tidy that up a little bit later. We've got a monthly interest rate of, a yearly interest rate of 15.4, but it compounds monthly. We started with a grand total of $2,400. Yep, $2,400 for this one. Now, the first thing we're going to do is just find out the interest that was charged. A bit different to last video. Instead of doing the 1 plus, what I'm going to do is, first of all, we've got an interest rate of 0.154. That's just dividing it by 100 to get 0.154%. We're going to divide it by 12 because it's compounding monthly. Now, what we're then going to do is times that by our principal. We're going to click on the cell because we want these numbers in here to stay the same, but our principal is always going to be changing. So here the interest charge in the first month is going to be $30, and 80 cents. The principal reduction in this case is going to be this one minus this one. So here we don't, even though we're taking $217.07 away from the principal, because we're adding the interest, we're only making a dent of $186.27, which is actually still pretty good. So again, to get the balance of the loan, we take our previous cell, we're going to we add the interest, and then we take away our repayment. We could have just shortcut straight away and gone for the $186.27, but that's okay. I can do it this way. Let's copy this down a few times. As we saw earlier, this does work. All increasing. Here, we still haven't actually finalized all the payments, so I might go down to 10 and see if that helps us. It does not, so we're going to be going a little bit further. I reckon 12 will see us through to the end. There we go. Okay, so I'll just zoom out a tiny bit so you can see all of it in its entirety. Widen that so it doesn't give us the error. we get down to 4 cents, but a lot of the time, banks aren't going to care too much about that. All right, and that's just as a result of rounding, and that's going to take a grand total of 12 repayments. So using that, and I'll make sure I upload this Excel sheet for you as well. Calculate the number of months. 12, yep. Just make sure I'm recording. Always paranoid about that. No one likes wasting their time. Okay, let's have a look at this one. Let's put a space there. Calculate the number of months it would take to pay off the Better Bank loan. So again, just to go back to the Excel sheet, in this case, the repayment is $282.69. We're just going to copy and paste this down. We'll go 12 times. We'll see if it kind of matches up. First one, again, 2400 is what we're dealing with here. To find the interest, we're going to start by doing, what have we got? 0.142 here. We're going to divide that by 12 to get a monthly rate, and then we're going to times that here. Again, using the exact same process. I'm just going to copy this down to cell 12. I know it's showing zeros, but it won't always do that. This is going to be equal to this subtracting this. Just to show you can do it the other way, to find our balance, I'm going to take this cell, and what we're going to do is just subtract this cell. And you'll see it's actually going to promote the same thing. Let's see. Ooh, okay. So don't worry that we've gone into the negatives. And the reason is it's just simply telling us we've gone too far. This one is going to be repaid in a grand total of 9 months. So that's what we're going to write here. It would take 9 months to repay this loan. Now here, D, how much interest would be paid on each loan? So Bank Me will work out in just a second. And what was the other one? Better Bank. And we'll work out that dollar value as well. So all I'm going to do is just sum up the total interest. And again, this is why technology can be so useful here. So this was Better Bank, 144.23. Bank Me, Bank With Me, I should say, 204.88. Okay, now ultimately what it comes down to, the higher repayments, really helped us pay this off in this circumstance. Okay, B shouldn't be there. There we go. So ultimately, guys, that's it. It doesn't ask us to, provide a recommendation of which one we would recommend. In this case, because we're borrowing, we would definitely opt for Better Bank here. Even though the monthly repayments are a little bit higher, we'll end up paying less interest. But remember, with these types of questions, particularly for the complex, familiar, and unfamiliar, just make sure you pay attention to what it's asking you. The customer may not be able to make these repayments. Anyway, guys, that's it for that one. Hopefully you enjoyed 8.3.